Hi everyone, welcome back. Let's write some more Leetcode today. Today we are solving design a number container system. The problem states that we want to be able to design a number container system that can 1. Insert or replace a number at the given index in the system, and 2. Return the smallest index for the given number in the system. So we will be given a number containers class where we will have a constructor that initializes the number container system, and then we will have a change method where it will fill the container at index with number, and if there's already a number that is at the index, then we want to replace it, and we will have a find method where it will return the smallest index for the given number, and if there's no index that is filled by the number in the system, then we will just return -1. So if we look at this example, over here it returns -1 because nothing has been put in the container yet. And at the second find method, where it wants to find 10, we return 1 because 1 is the smallest index that is filled with 10. But soon after the find method, it will call this change method where 1 now is filled with 20. So when we call the find method again, it will return 2 instead because that is the smallest index that contains 10, since 1 now contains 20. It has replaced 10 with 20. So now we have seen some examples. Let's get to how we can solve this problem. So we can solve this problem by setting up 2 hash maps. One we can call it indexes and one we call it numbers. The indexes will have the index as the keys and the numbers as the values. And the numbers hash map will have the numbers as the keys and the list of indexes as the values. And we will set up the list at heaps. So when we push a number into a list, it can be in a faster time. And we will add the numbers and indexes to these 2 hash maps in the change operation. Now in the find operation, we will first check if the number that we are finding is one of the keys in numbers. If it is not, then we can immediately return -1. If it is in numbers, then we will look for the first element in the heap of that number, and then we will use that to get the index, and then we will see if the index matches the number that we are looking for. If it is not, then that means this index has been replaced with another number. So we should pop that index from the heap in numbers and look at the next element, and we will keep continuing that process until we find an index that matches the number that we are looking for, and then we will return the index. I think it will make more sense as I go through this example, so let's go through this example right now. So we get to the first find operation. 10 is not in numbers, so we return -1 immediately. We get to the first change operation. So we set the key as 2 and the value as 10. In numbers, we set the key as 10, and then we add 2 to the list for our values. At the next change operation, we will add 1 as the key and 10 as the value, and then we will add 1 to the heap in numbers. At the next change operation, we will add 3 as the key and 10 as the value, and then we will add 3 to the heap. At the next change operation, we will do the same thing but with 5. Now that we are at the find operation again, we want to look for 10. Look at the first element and it's 1, so we return 1. At the next change operation, we set 1 to 20. We already have 1 as the key, so we will just change this to 20. And at the find operation, we look for 10. 10 matches with 1. 1 matches with 20. So that doesn't work, which means we will have to pop 1 from the heap and look at the next element. And 2 matches with 10. So 2 will be the index that we return. The time complexity of this problem would be O of log n, because pushing and popping from the heap may take log n time. And the space complexity would be O of n, where n is the number of operations, because the indexes and numbers hash map may take up to the length of the number of operations. So now let's get to the coding part. So first, we'll set up the constructor. We'll have self.indexes as a dictionary, and we will set self.numbers as default dict of list. And now at the change operation, we will set self.indexes of index to number. And on self.numbers, we will do heap push self.numbers of number, and we want to push the index, so index. And at the find operation, we first check if number is in self.numbers. If it's not there, we return -1 immediately. Then we can look at self.numbers of number, and whatever that gives us, we look for the first element in the heap of numbers of number. So index equals self.numbers number of 0. And afterwards, we want to check if the index we got is equal to number. If it is, we return index. If not, then we will pop that index from numbers of number. So we will do a heap hop operation. Then once we have finished the while loop, we can return -1 if we still don't find anything. All right, let's see if it works. Okay, perfect. I hope this was helpful. I thank you all for watching. If you have any more comments or questions, feel free to leave it down in the comment section, and I hope to see you all again soon.